Hey, it's Glines, the-automator, and we're here for another What We Automated this week with AutoHotkey. Today's Easter. Happy Easter if you celebrate that. Let's jump in and share my desktop. I'll use Prompt Assistant here to kick off. This is in Prompt Assistant, I'm triggering like 5 scripts here. So we have the Webcam reminder, changes my DPI, clears that webcam reminder and launches the recent modified, turns on do not disturb mode, brushes my teeth. No, not quite that yet, but I can move this guy over. Let's make that smaller. Again, this thing helps me not forget my webcam's there because that's easy to do. You'd be surprised how easy it is to do. Much fewer files this week because Ace was off all week. And we didn't get a lot of client work done because of it. So we did do a lot of stuff for Biofeedback. We had a really interesting bug, and it was an interesting conversation with them. They were mentioning the script was crashing, and it turns out actually, to me, it's not crashing. It was exiting because something that they were doing, it didn't find something, and then they purposely exited out of it, but they kept saying it was crashing. So once we got our vocabulary down, it was better because it's, we know what to look for, not something's crashing, which is a very different thing. But that was a good lesson learned. Danny's been just doing stuff on his own this week, unfortunately. Looks like Thomas has been up to his. And so let's get into some of our work here. Danny and Thomas. I was borrowing, because what was I using that COM object for Word, MS Word? I forget who it was. Someone was doing something with Word, and I was, our native COM object to, for V2. It wasn't in our library files. It was hidden somewhere away, so we just, but I was using it to connect to Word. I just don't remember what program I was working on. But anyway. Yeah, that's a great one, because Word and Excel and things, they can have multiple instances. And it was a really good lesson during the hero call this weekend. We were adding to get ActivePath. We were adding everything, so when you select a file and everything, it can pull the path from it. Hero member Connie asked it, and since he had everything on his computer stuff, we could set it up. We couldn't do it on our own because we don't have it. And I know it's free, but it's just one more tool that I don't need on my computer if I'm not going to use it. Anyway, we did it on Friday, and everything was working fine. And then I went through and used AI to update Get ActivePath, because there was a lot of stuff that was in the case statements multiple times instead of up in the beginning. So I went through that. I added a list of also programmatically detects what programs work with Get ActivePath, which was really, really cool. I used Claude until I ran out of bandwidth in Claude, and then I switched to OpenAI. Claude was doing a great job overall. And we did a lot of work, and then I said, okay, we tested it on our computers, great. Gave it back to Connie during the next hero call on Saturday, and it wasn't working. And this time, Isaiah was there, so we were debugging it, and it turns out everything has 2 executables with the same name, and one of them is probably like their index builder. I'm just guessing, but it's a service that gets run, but it has the same exact executable. The other one is like the GUI program you're working with. And it took us a while to pinpoint that. It actually led to a good idea that we'll probably implement in our Automator Spy, is to indicate whether the EXE you're working with is unique or not. Because often we think the executable is actually unique. There's not multiple instances of it. But when there are, which gets back to this whole Word and Excel native COM object thing, they often launch multiple instances. One has a GUI, one doesn't, and it's really annoying because you need to connect to the one usually with the GUI. And so it was a really, really valuable lesson learned of making sure you're actually connected to the one you want. And as Ace was showing us, if we use, I think it was the PID of the thing that we get, we can check if it has a GUI, and if it does, that's the one we want. So we're going to update Get ActivePath to use that change. We fixed it during the call. I just haven't brought it back into my version of it yet. But it just happened to be what Isaiah said was when AutoHotkey connects to the EXE and you put it in like the window title kind of thing, the Get Active, there's a command in AutoHotkey, Git Process, and you give it the exe, I think is what it's called, it will get the first one that it finds, right? And I think that's whichever one loaded first. And Isaiah said, hey, Friday it worked because the one that was loaded first happened to be the GUI, but on Saturday he had reloaded something and it was coming up second. So you don't want something as simple and crazy as that in one of your scripts, right? So it was a really, really good lesson to remember. Always look and see if there's more, instances of what it is, different matches out there. If it can match more than one thing, we need to know it, and we need to make sure we have a unique way to identify the one we're trying to. So, long speech, but again, very good lesson learned. We learned lots of stuff in the hero call, so again, check it out. Clone Speak. I was using Clone Speak to update some videos. Our client, her audio, it's really weird. During Zoom calls, she'll be fine, and then we get into like a bigger Zoom call, and she suddenly starts cutting out, and it's really weird because it seems like when it's one-on-one, it's not too bad. When there's a lot of people in the room, suddenly her audio cuts out more. If any of y'all have any idea on that, I don't know. I'm surprised this has got updated, that we automatically can burn in subtitles. The auto-suggester, Dale, he's a hero member, during the hero call, we realized we had updated the auto-suggester during the hero call, fixing some stuff, but somehow it didn't get pushed to the download, and he was wondering why it wasn't an updated version in working, because he was re-downloading it. So we fixed the download, I think, during the hero call. I'll have to double check just to make sure, but it was a bummer that we had done the work and then we forgot to share it, apparently, or something went wrong when we were sharing it. I don't know what happened. Create drive. This is a great tool for this. Like, we create our S drive here. This is a fake drive that's in the Dropbox, and this way in Isaiah's computer and Irfan and Rizwan's, they all have an S drive also, and we all have the same paths. It's just a really great workaround for that. So if you work with a team of people, or you work on multiple computers, a fake drive is a great way to simplify your life, because then every computer you go to, the path is the same, and you don't have to try to remember on every computer that they're in different places. So we love that one. Device mute. One of the people that purchased it had said they were wondering why their mic wasn't showing up, and it's actually an option in the settings to say, don't just filter on mics, because some, especially built-in microphone settings, when it's a built-in sound card, they don't always show up as a microphone. And so even though we programmatically reduce the list of items to just microphones, sometimes you have to turn that off because your mic might not be listened to the microphone. Quick desktop record. I think I demonstrated this. I used FFmpeg to be able to hit a hotkey and record the desktop and record down with audio too, which I don't know. We were mentioning that in the hero call. We showed it, and I think we were going to change something because they had a different way. No, we were using FFmpeg, so I borrowed a different approach to get a list, and we let people choose their microphone. And once you choose your microphone, then you can just hit a button and record, and it saves it. And also, if you want, converts it to an animated GIF, of course, with no audio. But very cool. I don't think we'd want it, but I guess you could also extract the audio file from it with an animated GIF, which would be really weird, because then you just keep the MP4 file. But file appender, this is one we were going to walk through. Because Isaiah was out on Friday, Irfan led the hero call on Friday and did a really good job. I made sure he had plenty of things to talk to, and so we worked on a lot of different topics. One of which we didn't get to was this file appender, and no, this one, sorry, the file appender we did. It's a different one that we'll get to here in a minute. File appender is a simplified version of, if you're using the file object, if you use Dropbox or a cloud service, or even Excel and stuff, some programs will lock a file, and when the file is locked, when they're reading it and doing something with it, you can't write to it. And if you use file append, it will try and fail, and then you end up with these conflicting files and stuff, and it's really, really annoying. So what I was trying to show was, if you use the file object, you can lock the file yourself. You can try to read it, and you can detect if you can't, if you're not able to open it, if something else has it locked, and then you can keep trying, or at least you let them know. And you keep trying and then let them know if there's an error. But what's really cool is you can then lock it, and then Dropbox or other tools can't open it and lock it. So then you're in control of the file, and you can append to it as you want, and then you can close it and lock it. So we created a function to make it a little easier instead of using the file object. Now, the file object itself, the basics, are very simple, but it does get advanced, and that's why I said let's put it into a function. The closing and writing are pretty darn simple, but the opening it and telling it which kind of format, if you want to read or read only, or read and write and lock it, and if you want to, the different encodings, that kind of gets confusing. That's where I just thought, hey, a function makes that a little simpler. We'll make some decisions for the people and just make it a little easier. So these are the files we were going through in that. Here's the Connie version of the Get ActivePath, which is what I got back from him for the hero call, and our other versions of it that I was playing with. I did create a tool that it runs and gets the list of all scheduled tasks, and I showed this to Isaias yesterday. Some of our clients have things running in the middle of the night. Their clients are running things in the middle of the night, and they don't know what's going on, but their programs, because they're automating programs. And I said, this tool will go get a list of all the stuff that's scheduled, and we should look for things in the middle of the night also, so that way we can tell perhaps why our scripts didn't work. I know that's a lot, and we haven't shared this yet. I showed it to Isaias. It's got some more work to do to it, but it's a really, really good start in getting that list of stuff, because it's not easy. GIF Compress, I haven't had a chance to show that to Isaias. Like I said, he was out all week, but that's just a script Claude wrote to take a, I don't think it's any kind of picture, or no, maybe a PNG, and compress it. It takes a PNG, JPEG, BMP, or a GIF, and will convert it to, I think, a GIF compressed. But I probably needed to go back and revisit that, because we need it for Prompt Assistant, and I want to decrease the storage size of the icons on Prompt Assistant. So we were working on that. This is where Irfan started on his own on this locked file, which I told him, don't do that. How would I know where you did that? So you make sure when you're working with other people, they understand they need to save it in a place that would make sense to everybody, not just themselves. Here's the, we did move this native COM object, which I'll link to it here. It's a really great, simple way to make sure you connect to the right instance of Excel or Word or PowerPoint. Merge some. This is the one that we were creating in V2. I have V1 version, and it's got a lot of great lessons in it. So we were updating it to V2, and we were going to show it during the hero call and talk through what we're doing. It's a great one to teach a lot of lessons. And private clip share, yeah, that's just one we have internally. Remote screen banner, I'm surprised that had any changes to it. I haven't touched that in a while. Maybe Rizwan made a little change to that. Toggle between monitors, this is the one where I said I created a admin version of it, just because it's internal, and I got tired of trying to move my Zoom windows, and they were run as admin, and in order to control another program that's admin, you have to launch your script as admin. So I just made mine run as admin, not to worry about it. Scribe, I think this is Kenneth's script. He's a hero member that showed us Scribe, and then I asked him to borrow his Scribe scripts. That's one of them. This VLC plate, now this is the V1 version. Someone just commented on this video I made like 3.5 years ago of asking for the code. I went back in, and here's the ACC get, and there's a couple other functions. I pulled them out of the ACC library, so it's just all self-contained instead of including the whole ACC library. This is just what you need. And here's my hotkey to reload. Here's the control, so I'm sending the spacebar to VLC to pause it, and at the same time, perhaps I should do this first, but I get the timestamp of where you are, and then it goes to Word, and it pastes the, here we get the timestamp and then a tab, and that way, when you're taking notes, you can hit a hotkey and play and pause a video. I think I already I closed the last one I was listening to. I was going to say I could demo it real quick. But we need to create this in V2, and so I revisited it and found that he couldn't find the file, so I found it, updated it, made sure it worked, and then we're going to make a V2 version. We probably won't bring in the library files from, having them separate. That was just my concern was there are people who don't know what they're doing with libraries, and it's just a bit much. Yeah, that's what I was just playing with that. We brought all, but I was thinking if I wanted to do this again, AI probably should be able to do that. I could tell it, hey, I'm using, I will probably use UIA instead of ACC, and go get the functions out of the library that you need and put them in this file, and that way I don't need to include the whole UIA library, because it's a pretty big library, and that's something UIA should be pretty darn good at. Speaking of which, where was it? I think you saw it earlier. Not log file. I don't think I had it in this one yet. I was going to show you. I saw it there. I should have explained it when I saw it. Here, this one. The bottom of this one. Make sure it's on the screen. In my instructions in Claude, I added 2 new things. One was I told it, hey, always add this to the end of the file, and that way I can tell when AI is done writing my code. So that's in my instructions and my core settings, and it's really, really handy. And I'm blanking on what the other one was. Oh, actually, it's related to what we talked about earlier. I now tell it to always use the file object when you're going to write data, because I don't want to have to worry about my scripts in Dropbox if it's syncing or not. And the file object, AI can write with it, no problem. It's a very simple object to use. So yeah, those are the 2 instructions I added to mine, AI tools. Let's see, where was I? VLC player, WhatsApp. Someone asked me if we could automate WhatsApp for them, and I'm not a WhatsApp user, but I think Rizwan had it on his computer, and it looked a lot like Telegram in the sense it looked like it's a Chromium type built tool, and we thought we could automate it with UIA. WhatsApp automate by UIA. Yeah, I guess that answers that. So we were just playing with it. The script itself isn't nothing, but we did start looking at it, inspecting it, and say, yeah, we could, and let the client that reached out to us know, if you want us to do it, it's going to be custom work, because none of us have done this. So, but yeah, there's that. Toggle windows up. Here's another tool I wrote with AI. I created a function that will toggle. Unfortunately, we finally decided to kill it because you have to be an admin, and a lot of the clients that are using our clients' programs, so our client we're writing code for, they sell their stuff. So their clients are, often much older than me and not techie, and they don't know if they're an admin or not, and more often than not, they're not. And so you have to be an admin in order to disable the Windows updates. And so I said, as easy as this is if you're an admin, but if, and I know we could programmatically just detect it, but I don't want to give something that may or may not work for some people and then trying to explain to them, well, they're not admins, even if they're, they don't understand any of that stuff. So maybe we'll still release it on the Automator, because if you're an admin, it's great to be able to disable those. But for something you distribute to other people, to users, at random, where you don't know if they're admins or not, yeah, that's not, and they're not technical, yeah, not a good idea. This is my script that I run before here, because now in Zoom, I can't disable the waiting room, which is weird. Oh, thanks Zoom for not letting me do stuff. Whatever. But this script will watch if people are, once I launch it, and it starts off in paused mode, so I have to go unpause it, but this way I can launch it, and then when I'm finally ready to start the meeting right at the top of the hour, like the hero calls, I go and unsuspend it, and it starts when anyone comes into the waiting room, it automatically adds them into the room, because otherwise one of us has to watch it and add people, and it's easy to I hear the notification, but not everybody does, and it's easy to leave someone there and think you had everyone there. So anyway, that's what we've been working on. Again, light work this week. Actually, Zayas is working today to make up for some of the time. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Please like the video if you learned something. It really helps us out. If you want to have some work done for you, let me know. Thank you. Have a great day. You can check my calendar. I'll put the link up here if you're interested. Have a great Easter if you celebrate that. Cheers.